Yes, it's another edition of Matters Rising on BCOS television, Ilake Derita Bashon, right here in the city of Ibadan. And yes, Matters Rising, like you know, yes, always has to do with this program dealing with issues affecting the country, Nigerians, contemporary issues, talking about security, economy, security, yes, like I said, all other issues pertaining to the well-being of Nigerians. And yes, we are talking about security issues now, today, security issues. And well, the security issue we are talking about is about the coup, the failed coup that occurred in Benin Republic and with the assistance of the Nigerian military. And well, some issues too that concerns Nigeria in our own internal security issues. And of course, like you always know, we bring eminent personalities, yes, on the program to delve into these issues, talking about matters arising. And today, Benin Republic's failed coup, that is the matter arising today, and how it is affecting us, how it affects us, and how it will affect us, and how it will affect Benin Republic. Yes, I have in the house Alhaji Lasisi Adetunji, Esquire, former chairman, Nigerian Legion, Oyo State, and of course, former, active military man. And when I saw him this afternoon, I did not believe that he will still be so active. Yes, Alhaji, you are welcome to the program.
Good afternoon.
Yes, also, I have Dr. Olubomi Shodipo, is not new to the program. He's an international affairs analyst. Dr. Olubomi Shodipo, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Yes, talking about Benin Republic now. Yes, there was this coup. It is it was all over the news, talking about a coup, attempted coup, and well, and it shocked Nigerians. It shocked West African leaders. Well, it might not shock all those other West African leaders, that military leaders that overtook the civilian regimes of those countries. But well, why it shocked Nigerians is that why is this happening again in the West African shores? But well, we hope, I don't pray that that happen in Nigeria. I don't pray that it happens in Nigeria again. Well, Nigeria is a very large country, and we know it, we hope it does not happen again. Well, there were some feelings then. That was when some military chiefs, some service chiefs were replaced and changed, because some people thought there was an attempt to topple the government of President Bola Tinubu. But, well, I think it has been nipped in the bud, and I hope it does not happen again, and it will never rear its ugly head. Well, let's now shift to the Benin Republic and Nigeria's intervention and what eventually happened. Let me quickly go through this piece here. The Benin Republic's failed coup, that is after 34 years of uninterrupted democracy. Yes, the recent coup sparked widespread discussions about democracy, governance, and regional stability. And the coup, which was thwarted by forces loyal to President Patrice Talon, has raised concerns about the fragility of democratic institutions in West Africa. Like I said before I went to that piece there. And okay, the coup attempt, just talking about soldiers briefly taking over the control of Benin State television station, claiming to have deposed President Talon, and the international intervention. You know, the Nigerian forces, backed by France, played a crucial role in quelling the coup attempt. What I want to ask here, well, I will ask it in the course of the program. France, Nigeria, what really transpired before they intervened in this attempted coup, and that how was it thwarted? And of course, the leader of the coup, Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Digli, is reportedly hiding in neighboring Togo, and several individuals have been arrested in connection with the plot, and also implications and concerns. One of those questions I will ask: regional response, the economic community of West African states, the African Union. Yes, they are working to support Benin Republic's democratic institutions, and African Union has also expressed support for Benin's government and is monitoring the situation closely. I think Nigeria too has deployed some troops there for the meantime. And the situation in Benin Republic remains fluid, and it's essential to continue monitoring developments in the region. Well, it goes on and on and on. Now, Alhaji Lasisi Adetunji, former chairman, Nigerian Legion, Oyo State, I want to ask you, Benin Republic has enjoyed 34 years of uninterrupted democracy since 1991. And from your own perspective, now, what does this failed coup reveal about the fragility, like I mentioned here, or resilience of long-standing democratic institutions in the country?
Thank you very much. It is not the number of years of the democratic governance that somebody has got, the country has got, that matters. Even if it's more than 30-something years, it doesn't mean. When there is a precursor, something that will lead to coup, people have been seeing it. That is the beginning of it. So 30 years, 40 years, 50 years of democracy, it doesn't matter, except they do it as they're supposed to be doing it. Otherwise, expect it anytime. That is the way I look at it. Because if the election is being rigged, if it's not well planned, if the opposition is not giving space, if the governance is bad, if you begin to torment your opposition. Political and economic turmoil. Apart from economic, once you begin to do that, as regards your opponent, you don't give space. You don't allow any other body to contribute. This thing it has time, it's timely. Either for 4 years, 5 years, or then you get at the middle of the game. You begin to change posts. You are beginning to bring in suspicion that the military will like to strike. So they will change the government. I think that is what caused it in Benin.
Yes, Doctor, how does this incident compare with previous coup attempts in West Africa? Yes.
Well, maybe before I go into that, I would like to go a bit further.
Yes, that, you can go ahead.
That sometimes, particularly in the case of Benin Republic, I think it's a question of peer pressure. The fact that you see something happening in Burkina Faso, and it seems to have succeeded. Nobody's
talking.
It's going on smoothly. It's happened in Niger. Nobody's, so they too want to try their hand. If you look at those boys who tried what they tried in Benin, they don't look like the type that will lead the nation to anywhere. You understand? But because they see that, okay, our colleagues in Kaki, in social country have done their own, they succeeded. These have also done their own, they succeeded. Conditions in their country might not even, like Daddy here was saying, might not move any closer to what might necessitate the need for a coup. But, peer pressure or desire to jump in on the bandwagon, that might be it. So now when you want to compare it, forceful change of government in West Africa has become almost a recurring decimal over the years. And certain conditions, like has already been mentioned, usually prompt a situation where people who have the means of force, the arms and bullets, feels that, okay, let's take advantage of the fact that we have bullets and all of that. You are aware of what happened in Nigeria, like as far back as 1966. You understand? Coup, counter coup, and then another coup, and then after that another coup, and all of that. And you realize that in a lot of those cases, you have people behind the scene teleguiding the military.
Yes.
Yes.
In Nigeria, you have people behind the scene teleguiding the ministry. The military.
That, like you said, talking about the Okaku. Then.
Similarly, also in other West African countries, you have people behind the scene assuring the military that go ahead and do it. We are behind you. And sometimes, in the case of Nigeria, there might be tribal forces, there might be oligarchies, there might be a particular set of people who feel that Nigeria is their property and the army is an extension of their personal security forces, causing all of this trouble. In other African countries, you have foreign powers, in some cases, being the one behind the coup. For example, you'll be surprised that a character called Charles Taylor was a prisoner in Minnesota. And one dark, lonely night, somebody opened the door and he walked out of prison. After some time, he was seen in Libya training with Gaddafi. A few months later, he came back to Liberia and caused all that trouble that happened in Liberia. So who you want to begin to think? Is CIA involved? Is FBI involved in how Charles Taylor eventually came to Liberia and all of that? So, in a lot of cases, the decimal factor or the recurring factor or the lowest common denominator, as the case may be now, is that there are usually some people behind assuring the army. For example, you remember that Ibrahim Babangida admitted that if he didn't cancel
the June
12 elections, he will kill me. Who are those they? Who are those they? Those are the people who instigated the counter coup after the 1990 coup. Is this set of people who took Shagari out because maybe for one reason or the other? The same set of people, who brought Ibrahim Babangida himself in. You understand? And the same set of people who probably instigated this one that was recently questioned by Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes, Alaji.
No.
Fine. We commend the Nigerian military for assisting the Benin Republic government, yes, from being overtaken by a group of, let me say, insurgent soldiers. But now, we have our own internal problems, internal security problems, insurgency, kidnappings, killings, maimings, organized by some terrorist groups and some killers, which I will always tag criminals. Yes. When Nigeria was contacted, like I had, I'm not sure, but I heard that it was France.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly, that it was Emmanuel Macron that, contacted President Tinubu. Yes, they should assist Benin Republic to tackle these coup plotters. Yes, they brought in jets, helicopters, allegedly brought in jets, helicopters, ground soldiers, and they finally foiled the coup, and we are unable to tackle our own problems in Nigeria. What is happening?
No, you have answered it. You say in Nigeria, there's a difference between external aggression and internal one. Internal one with conflict. Internal one that has collaboration of people. Internal one that have been jeopardized by corruption. Internal one that they have collaborated together to turn it to be an industry. So because of this, you cannot judge the two to be the same. Like the external one that we are telling you, if we tell you that the military of Nigeria is super, you will not believe. That is how we are. They are ready for the action. But do they allow them to do it internally? In the capital, no.
The politicians.
I don't mention.
No,
it can be politicians,
I am
can
saying,
be anybody.
I am saying
but
the politicians.
It's the capital, no. And that is our power that we show you there. How many hours take them to organize the battalion to go and flush it there? How many hours? But our bush that are here, it is the same thing like somebody that is, you are planting beans and you carry bed under. You are wasting your time. That is what is exactly happening in this country. Not to say that to flush these people out does not take, it won't take any time. But do you have will with that to do it? Are you allowed to do the job? If you are not allowed, you can't do it. This is democratic governance. It's not military. They are under the commander-in-chief. If there is no order to strike, they will not. Sit down, look. If you say I will strike, I will strike.
So until people
you know
continue
what
to be
Fela's
killed.
call us? He says zombie. If you say fire, we fire.
But people will be continued, will be killed continuously.
Yes. That's what we want.
And they will wait for orders
Is it not
from
what
the
we
commander-in-chief.
When they are telling you that somebody is an accessory to a case, like the Minister of State, they are alleging him every day. Even if they will not change him out of the cabinet, can't they reshuffle the cabinet and give him another portfolio? Is he bound to be in that Ministry of Defense? He's not. Is it not for our country that is going to be a minister of the Federal Republic? Can't they tell him to, can't they repost him to another place? He's been alleged, all the people they have been alleging, there is no crime, there is nothing. There are no deterrent. They are mentioning names, they are mentioning them. You know, we are just in for it. So don't compare the way we attack in Benin or the way we savage in Benin to that, our internal one. They are not the same.
Yes.
I want to just add read something, sir. Did you notice that the same thing the Nigerian government did in Benin, they wanted to do in Niger? There wouldn't have been a military government in Niger right now.
Yes.
But the people in the north said those people are against men.
They
Don't
are
touch them.
Yes.
That's why you have a military government in Niger.
Yes.
I think that was during the tenure of President Buhari, former President Buhari.
So it's a question of political will. It's not as if our military are not good enough to handle what's happening in this country right now. And when we are talking about political will, it's not as if even the president does not have the will to do it. But when you have a well-known ruler from a particular zone saying if you fight Boko Haram, you are fighting the north, what do you want the president to do? So can I ask me your question, please?
Yes. Are there structural or institutional weaknesses, in the military? Like, well, Alhaji might have said some of them, and some of those that democratic governments need to address to prevent future, insurrections in the country and across the West African sub-region.
Yeah, that's where we come back to what you started with, sir. There are some conditions, socio-economic conditions, which, if they are not addressed, you will give greedy, unreasonable, sorry to use the word, useless people to come and be saying, fellow countrymen, remain calm, just go about your business.
Fellow Nigerians.
Fellow Nigerians. Please, democratic institutions to attend to the needs of the people. You understand? They should work very hard to eradicate poverty. Make sure social infrastructures are in place. Be careful how they tax the people. When you tax the people too much, there will be growing discontent. And that growing discontent, the army is also feeling the pulse of the people. When the army feels the pulse of the people to a particular point, they think that that's how they do.
Yes.
So they are always feeling the pulse of the people. So when all those conditions are taken care of, then you avoid. Then when he pointed out democratic institutions, somebody said if you make peaceful change impossible, then you make violent change inevitable. So when people lose confidence in democratic institutions, they look for other options, and the next possible option is the army. That's where you have people. You have somebody who is ready to put money down. That boy is Emawori. Money is your problem. This is money. You understand? So democratic institutions should fulfill their purpose. Secure the people, provide social infrastructure, allow franchise to be voted and be voted for. The rights of the citizens respected. Then when the army comes out, you might even find that, look, as powerful as the army is, with guns and bullets, if the people say no, the army cannot rule.
No.
That's why they will always beg you that, please, fellow countrymen, go about your business. Just leave us with this, with Asorok and your treasury. You just go about your business, go to your market, go to your office, go to your schools, but leave us with the national treasury. Because they know that if you say no, they cannot rule. So government should get the people on their side, so that even if the army tries it, the people will say no.
Yes. Alhaji, this brief seizure of that television station where those soldiers, announced that they are taking over power. What does it indicate about the level of planning, organization, and support behind this coup?
No, the doctor has even said it the other time that they will test the pulse of the people. You see, the boys, they want to copy what they saw in the Sahel region.
Yes.
That's what they want to do as quickly as possible. That's why they engage like that. Otherwise, their consultation is fake. It's not enough. I mean, with the populace. If they gain the ground with the populace, they wouldn't have acted like that. And the way they acted, I think it shows the way who they are and their level of their commitment. And do we expect anything good from those type of people who they think they will govern you? So their level of participation or taking over the government is not there. They just try it. And they thought that the thing will just, Yoruba say, oh, jello. That's the way they thought that thing will happen. You know, they did it in Guinea-Bissau. When our own former president said he looks as a palace coup, he doesn't even understand what he will call it. Because they organize it is the president who organizes it by himself. So he said he doesn't know what he will call it. What I mean is that those people are not planned for that thing. And I think it's a lesson for all of them to know. If you don't want to waste your time, your life, you should not take such a risk. Because if it's in a civilized clime where rule of law will take place, I think by now they should know where they are. I don't know whether the boy has come out from Togo or where
he fled to.
He fled to. I learned that it's now in Burkina Faso or something like that, that he has been taking refuge in Burkina Faso. And that's really the place where they can hide for some time.
Yes. Now, let's just quickly talk about Burkina Faso now. The president, they detained our plane, our Hercules plane, and, with the 11 soldiers. What do you think happened at that point? Was it that because what I heard, according to investigations I made, that they flew into the airspace of the country without permission. Yes, without permission. And they said they had to have an emergency landing. But what I believe is that the Burkinabe government was thinking that, the military government was thinking that maybe they had a mission. They said they were heading for Portugal. So what do you think happened in that climb?
There is no problem. It is what government tell us that we are going to support, believe. It is not our duty to be suggesting on what happened. They told us that they are going to Portugal and they have emergency, they have technical fault, which resulted into emergency landing. It's allowed. In international law, it's allowed. But you should take permission of the country you are. But with Burkina Faso, we are not in the same town with them.
Yes.
So the boys may suspect that when we finish with Benin, we want to strike on them. That is why we came down. It now rests on our own government to prove that that is not our mission. And we should do that diplomatically. Otherwise, we may find ourselves in where I don't expect.
Well, that is what is happening now. The president of Burkina Faso is saying, let them come.
No,
yes, let them come. Yes,
let
them come. It dares Nigerian government and says he has transferred the 11 detained Nigerian, the 11 into isolated detention.
I learned so. Let them do, they will do diplomatic way of solving it. That's the way I look at it. And there will be no problem.
Yes, Dr. Shudipo, Nigeria and France played significant roles, yes, in the thwarting of that coup in Benin Republic. Now, how do you assess the legality and political implications of foreign military involvement in diplomatic crises in West African nations?
Nigeria has always been involved in crises in West African nations. We are not, even though some will say we are a sleeping giant or unicorn giant, but there is no gainsaying that we are giants of Africa. And you remember the role we played in apartheid falling in South Africa.
Yes.
You remember the role we played when Liberia got into problem.
Yes.
Liberia is supposed to be a colony of United States.
Yes.
United States didn't lift a finger to assist them because they don't have well and they don't have lithium.
Yeah.
It was Nigeria that bailed them out. So Nigeria getting involved in crisis in West Africa is not news. And in this particular case, it was on the invitation of the Beninese government.
Yeah.
You understand? And Nigeria is operating a democratically elected government. You understand? And another democratically elected government is asking for help. What do you expect the Nigerian president to do? To say no? So there is no issue about Nigeria getting involved. It's normal diplomatic thing. Apart from that, the Benin Republic hosts a trade corridor that is very important to Nigeria.
Very, very.
And you can't allow negative, antagonistic forces to take control of that route. You understand? A lot of the things Dangote is producing and is exporting out of Nigeria goes through that route.
Yes.
So it's going to affect our balance of payment. It's going to affect our economy. And then you realize that a lot of people who are presently in Nigeria democracy setting today and hosting Nigeria's democracy today had to run from the junta back in the days of Bababsha through that same route. Do you think they would want that route to fall into the hands of another junta? You understand? So there is no big deal about Nigeria getting involved. It's not as if it's new, or it's not as if it's a problem, or it's not as if it's against international law.
No,
it's not against international law, especially on the invitation of the Beninese government. Now, France getting involved is where the issue comes, because a lot of West African countries are trying to extricate themselves, remove themselves from the clutches of France. France is the most notorious of the colonial powers. You understand? So we even have a bit of a political independence here in Nigeria, even though economic and ideological independence has eluded us up to now. What France was doing to those Francophone countries is worse than what England or Britain did to Anglophone countries. So there is a hatred for France in West Africa. So that in itself is what is fueling the arrogance and the antagonism we are getting from the AES. You understand? Because those boys they now see Nigeria as backing France to recolonize them, which is what is creating a lot of. But like as we mentioned already, it's a matter of diplomacy. Even the citizens of France had been captured before by this same Burkinabe government, and they came to the table and they sat down and they negotiated and they released those people. So in this case also, I believe that our 11 boys, military boys, will also be released.
With our aircraft.
Nigeria might have to, because I understood that France had to part with some artillery and some funding for them to get their citizens back. So in the same way, maybe Nigeria too will also have to make some compromises.
Sure.
But by God's grace, those boys will be back home. And there is no big deal about Nigeria. I think the people that created this situation is African Union and ECOWAS.
Yes.
There are a lot of things going on in West Africa, a lot of things going on in Africa that are not supposed to be so. If AU and ECOWAS are taking proactive hands, you understand, proactive measures to address some of the things that are going on in their member states, you create the socio-economic atmosphere that allows boys like Traore to come up and be saying the things he's saying. That's the way I understand it.
Well, Alaji, with 200 troops now, 200 ECOWAS troops, yes, now deployed to Benin, how effective is regional military cooperation in restoring order while, respecting civilian authority?
No, I think it's ECOWAS and AU who produce that. In those days we have ECOMOG,
yes.
brigade and all these things. But a battalion, troops of 200 is enough for Benin Republic. If you know how Benin Republic is to us, it's like a state under our country. Not only that, the southern part of Benin Republic captured the whole entire Yoruba race, to Owode, Idiroko, and all the rest. I remember in 1967, around May, we were there on roadblock, joint roadblock with gendarmes of Benin, All right? So we don't talk with that place, as Dr. Asraeli said, because that's only our source of economic source in the south. We don't allow anybody to prey on it. If you see our battalion is at Owode and they oversee that area, it's because of that. So if they need more men, all other countries that have not supported, have not brought their troops, they will bring in their troops. But I know that Nigeria will be the highest contributor. Because right from the beginning, we are always the highest contributor. So it is not a problem. If they need more numbers, they will get to it.
Yes, sir. What lessons can other West African countries, learn
from this?
From what happened? Let me say African countries. Most of the West African countries have been taken over by military men.
Most?
Yes,
at least 16 countries in West Africa.
No, it's not most.
Okay.
We have 16 in West Africa.
Some.
We have three
under military.
So, but the problem is that most of those West African countries and the democratic structures and governance in most of those West African countries are overseeing a society that is creating the kind of conditions that brought up military rule in those three countries.
Yes.
That is the truth. You understand? And if that is the case, and if AU continues to be silent, and ECOWAS continues to be not to speak up except when there is a need to contribute troops. Anyway, to answer your question, the lesson other West African countries should learn is they should provide the things. There are the things we mentioned already. They should provide amenities, provide conditions in their various countries that will make the people support the democratic institutions.
Good governance.
Good governance, sir. Provide social amenities, provide good education,
yes,
good road, health, all the things we call dividend, the so-called dividends of democracy.
And then allow opponents.
So if you don't have dividend of democracy, you will say, okay, I mean, if the so-called democracy that we thought will bring us good things is not bringing us good things, let the khaki boys come now.
Yes.
That's why you have some people, a section of people here, even in Nigeria, wishing that khaki boys will come back, which is very, very wrong now. Now, maybe at this point, let me really use this opportunity that Nigeria is not a homogeneous country, like maybe Ivory Coast, where you have most of everybody belonging to one tribe. You understand?
Yes.
Most of everybody belonging to one. So, in a country as diverse and as big as Nigeria, when you bring in the military, you bring in a set of people that will come and play their sectional agenda. If the Izegu coup had succeeded, you will find out that it will be an Igbo agenda. The counter coup that succeeded, since then up to now, it has been a northern agenda that they have been pushing. And they have pushed it so much to the point where, with guns and bullets, they have already entrenched it in your constitution. So why should there be any coup? That's why you have not had any coup since then, up to very recently. You understand? So the point now is that countries must make sure that they provide their citizens with the things that will make them cherish democracy. Because the moment they don't cherish democracy anymore, you give the khaki boys the opportunity to be saying the things they want to say.
Yes, Alaji, are ECOWAS and African Union, yes, are they effectively balancing diplomacy, military intervention, and respect for national sovereignty? You mentioned something like that earlier on.
Whether they are doing what?
Yes, whether they are balancing diplomacy, military intervention, and respect for national sovereignty.
Okay.
Yes. The AU and ECOWAS.
You see, if the governance in the sub-region take note of all the important things to be done in governance, I think they will not have any problem. They will not have where Francophone will exist out of their own ECOWAS. It is because they don't do well. That's why those boys saw them as if they are not taking care of them. If you say that whether they are doing whether they are balancing their balancing what?
Balancing diplomacy, military, and military intervention and respect for national sovereignty.
At their level, I think they've started it. We cannot say until such a time if they have any failure. But on this one that we are having now, I think they will consult each other so that the Sahel boys, I mean the Burkina Faso, the Mali, the Niger, they will not tarnish what they say they are doing. I learned that last week they gathered together in Abuja, where the Secretary General message was delivered, of United Nations was delivered there. I think they used that chance. They will skate through. But the most important thing that I see is governance. Once the governance is derailed, there will be room for people to come in. Bad governance, they don't tell themselves truth. When they are at the meeting, when they were reigning, they don't tell them that give room to opposition. Let them have their say. If somebody has a say, it doesn't mean he has his way. But let him talk. When you begin to change rules, like what Talon did, I learned next year is going to be election in his place. I don't know why he's trying to change goalposts at this time. And that is where some of them, you know what happened in Tanzania also, where about 200 people died because of the election. And this is the way they have been trying to do it. Everybody like to bring himself there permanently. As soon as he gets there, he would like to be there permanently. Why? If somebody is not out of that place, can you be there? You should give room to other people. So whether they are doing their diplomacy very well, whether they are doing their governance very well, they should be prepared that people are watching. And the boys cannot be watching for life. There are some people who strike at any time.
Well, are there a risk of dependency on foreign military support for domestic stability? Doctor?
Foreign military support, like Nigeria supporting Benin now?
Yes.
Abi?
Yes.
Well, there will always be conditions wherein a particular sovereign nation may not be able to handle. For example, now, Nigeria has come to a place where people are calling on some other foreign countries to come and help us solve our domestic problem. It's a shame. It's a very sad situation. So, in a similar manner, countries come to a point where they get to a point where they can't handle their personal situation. But the ideal situation is that after the crisis has been handled, even if the army was maybe, let's say, it's 30,000 strong, and it was not enough to handle that particular, the country will increase the army to 50,000 strong to be able to handle its domestic problems. Because part of what makes a sovereign nation is your being able to handle your problems. So let's not look forward to a situation where there is dependency.
Yes, like Alaji mentioned, Doctor too. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yes, socioeconomic or political, grievances. Yes, like you said, they contributed to unrest, might contribute to unrest, making, the military to want to take over. Yes, how can this be addressed?
It is good. Very simple now. Good governance. When we are saying good governance is that you know what your people need, give example, lead them by example. Don't turn to somebody who will say you should fasten your belt and you are losing your own. In this country where we are having to ride on ordinary motorbike is very difficult, and people are using jeep of 80 million naira. How do you, what reasonable thing is that? And you escort of about 2 vehicles, escorting only one person with free fuel. The driver is going to be paid, the staff are going to be paid from these taxes. That is not the way to lead. If somebody knows that it's going to lead, it should lead by example and then be open. If there will be election, let it be open, let it be transparent. Don't gag your opposition. I begin to mention it. Don't gag opposition. Let them say their own out. It doesn't mean that they will have their way. But if you begin to say that they should not have their say, that's where the problem comes in. Economically, when you know the level of the people you are governing and the little that you're having, don't squander it. Use it among the populace. Don't let them see that some people are enjoying, like the political people, Politicians are now enjoying, the poor people are the masses are suffering. That's not good. I think that is only the way they can do it to get it out.
Yes, Dr. Oluwumi, from an international affairs standpoint, how should the global community respond to support democracy in such context without overstepping sovereignty?
In the first place, international community, you are talking about Europe, Abi?
Yes.
You are talking about maybe like NATO.
NATO.
You are talking about US.
US.
You are talking like Russia.
Russia,
You are
yes.
talking like China.
Yes.
All those people will never come out of a, what do they call it, philanthropic interest. You understand? They are going to come out of their national interest.
Selfish interest.
Selfish national interest. I just gave you an example, just aside, that, look, the people that populated Liberia, Monrovia was named after a former president of United States, Monroe.
Yes.
They were former slaves in US, brought to that land, and they now formed that country, Liberia. You would think that when they get into a problem, the first country to show up for them will be US, right? Sorry. Because those people are not interested in you or your life or what happens to you. They are only interested in how your situation can help their own country. And you'll be surprised that in a lot of cases, they are actively working to destabilize your country.
Yes.
So that they can continue to siphon raw materials from your country
yes.
for their own economy. So you are now depending on those kind of people to come and help you when you have problems. So every sovereign nation should learn to find friends who have the same problems like they do, who will help one another, like Nigeria found BRICS. You understand? I think there are about like 14 countries. Brazil is in there, you know, so many, a number of countries are in there. People who have problems like you do, you gang together, you come together and help one another. If you are looking for the overdeveloped countries to come and help some underdeveloped country and say international community, it's neo-colonialism in perpetuity. That's what happens.
Yes. Now, like you said, their selfish interest.
Yes.
Britain did not, try to say that, yes, we will try and help Nigeria tackle terrorism, tackle insurgency. Britain colonized us. United States did not colonize us.
Yeah.
And are the ones talking, are the ones dragging. I know, yes, Donald Trump of US had good intentions, but...
How did you know that, my brother?
Yes, I believe that is
you have a thermometer.
That is what I believe.
Good
is what I know, but I know he has
if I know somebody with bad intentions,
selfish interest. That's what I'm saying.
If I know somebody with bad intentions,
yes, that is what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Since the World War II, America has invaded close to like 96 countries. If it's not for their oil, it's for their minerals.
Yes.
You understand?
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't have oil or you don't have minerals, you don't have lithium, you don't have something special that they need, they are not interested in you. You might be killing yourself from now till tomorrow. They are not interested in you. So please, I am assuring you from brother to brother that you can be assured that Trump does not have good intentions.
I know it's a selfish interest.
Okay.
Yes, it's selfish interest. Now, Alaji, what are the, can this crisis serve as a turning point for deeper regional cooperation on democracy and security?
I think that's what ECOWAS or the AU should think of. The meeting they are having. When they lost these three boys, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, they should have not started thinking that they are on the top of the map. They are okay. They are not okay. The problem we are having on security today, this banditry you are talking about, this terrorism you are talking about, it's added to it because of escape route. You should not limit your power to internal. You should know who surround you. If you are in a place, you are living, take care of those people who surrounded you. Otherwise, they will become your enemy. And if they become your enemy, you are in trouble. What I mean is that escape route in Niger, escape route up there in Chad, then to allow again escape route in Benin, we are finished. So I think our leaders should go back and call themselves that they should be one. They should have regional cooperation among themselves. It's better than for them to think that these Francophone boys should be allowed to go like that. God has already created, it is this convenience of these Oyinbos who created all these boundaries. Otherwise, God has created us together. And I don't want this boundary to begin to be our problem. If we are going to gain more, if we allow them to be with us, we gain more. And there is good, as Dr. Aseli said, if you have a problem and I have a problem, you rub my own, I rub your own. The advanced country, they don't need anything from you. They need your raw materials and your minerals. But for the regional, we are in good position to assist, and they are in good position to protect, so that we can live peacefully. I think regional cooperation is better for all of us.
Yes, it has been an interesting time. Yes, of course, on Matters Arising on BCOS television, right here in the city of Ibadan. Yes, we've been discussing the Benin Republic's failed coup. Yes, and that is the matter arising, at least for now. And of course, Alhaji Lasisi Adetunji, a former chairman of the Nigerian Legion in Oyo State, Esquire, Alhaji Lasisi Adetunji, Esquire, he has been delving, yes, seriously on this issue. Other matters that are linked to what really transpired, Nigeria's intervention and what is happening and what has happened. Alhaji, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
And yes, Dr. Olubunmi Shodipo, an international affairs analyst, yes. He's not new on the program, and I knew him the first time I met him, yes, to be an erudite, yes, what can I say? Analyst, yes, erudite analyst. And yes, he has really given us what has happened, what really happened, and what will happen in future, talking about this issue in West Africa. Yes, I want to thank Dr. Shodipo too. Thank you very much for coming on the program. And of course, I want to thank myself too. Bimbo Akambi. I want to thank myself too. Yes, I want to thank my
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point, Oga.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you, they use money point?
Of course now, they use money points.
Confirm.
Money Point, made for your progress.
Welcome to another episode of Converse in an Apron. I am your host, Roseanne.
I'm Pei.
And I'm Fumilayo.
So today I'm fixing up the ingredients for this dish. So I have my protein here and stockfish.
3 different kinds of breakfast today, 3 in 1. So me, I'm going to be making my favorite go-to breakfast that I can eat every day. It is
That's the last thing to do.
Okra pepper soup is ready.
Chef for me! Give them! Oh, shit!
Oilless of
It's not too spicy for me. Coconut milk moi moi. Well, today we are going to find out how we make that. I don't understand why I struggle with this moi moi wrap. I have found somebody
who likes
pepper
more than
food.
Wow.